Welcome back, friends, to another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Lids87 here, and today we're going to be talking about the global side of the game. We're going to be talking about Lann and Reynn and Edgar and see if they are worth your tickets and or gems, and if you should honestly be pulling for them. Alright, friends, so before I get into it though, friends, please remember to like and subscribe. Alright, so as of March 15th UTC time, so last night or today, depending on your time zone, Lann and Reynn's Lost Chapter, it's already out live, and they will be featured in Chiron's event, which should be on March 19th UTC time. Now, Edgar is synergy for this banner, and Lann, Reynn, and Edgar will be getting reworks. Now, this is their banner. Now, we do have double returning EX weapons. We've seen Edgar's EX weapon before and Lann and Reynn's banner EX weapons before. So if you already have their weapons from before, yeah, you guys are safe. Your gems are safe. Your tickets are safe. You don't have to throw a damn thing on this banner. But if you're still undecided, if you threw some resources last night or some tickets and gems, and you're like, should I keep going or not? Hopefully I can help you reach that decision by telling you guys essentially pros and cons about Edgar, Lann, and Reynn. So let's get started, friends. The first unit that I do want to talk about is Edgar. Now, Edgar is a character from Final Fantasy VI. He's a Red Crystal Affinity character, and his damage type is range and melee with debuffs built into his kits. Now, some things about Edgar that I do like about him. His biggest pro is that he does bonus damage towards machine. And truth be told, in this game, we do see a lot of machines as trash waves, as mid bosses, or as even bosses. So if you have Edgar, he's gonna do excellent on those stages. He also has 3 debuffs built into his kit, 2 generic ones, defense and max brave down, and an interesting frame debuff called Royal Pressure. Now, what Royal Pressure does is it inflicts sap and increases the brave damage taken by that enemy. So this is a very, very good buff in my own personal opinion. And also with his EX weapon, he has a unique buff called Machinery. And what this does is this will increase the brave damage dealt to the enemies based on the number of debuffs on said enemy. So it's 10% per debuff. So he can be doing a total of plus 60%, as the enemies can be inflicted with 6 types of debuffs. That's if they don't buff themselves and if they don't start pushing your debuffs off. Now, some things that I'm conflicted about Edgar, some cons, is that Edgar's biggest con is that he is very dependent on those debuffs to be at his fullest potential. Since he can only inflict 3 types of debuffs, you're kind of forced to party him with another type of debuffer so you can get a total of 6 debuffs or push off enemy buffs to inflict your own. So you can't be at that 60% for all 6 debuffs. So bringing units like Sarah or Lillisec can potentially help him out. And another thing that about Edgar is attack potencies without Machinery or Royal Pressure can be on the lower end. So be sure to bring him with an attack buffer or an enchanter impaler like Rosa and or Lulu to help him push past those shorter waves. Now let's talk about the main units, Lann and Reynn. Now they are from World of Final Fantasy. Great game, great game. I've never finished it. I lost my save data, but it's a great game, guys. They are White Crystal Affinity, and they are magic melee type attackers. Now, big pros about these two is that they are freaking adorable because they came in their Lillican form. So if you never played it, they're small, they're Lillican, and then they can be like human size. So that's adorable, guys. That's freaking adorable. Now, another pro is that they are pretty much the best 100% HP AoE unit in the game at the moment. And this is helped out by their 16 skill uses from their skill 1 and skill 2 together. They have a good HP attack plus at 1 out of 3, which will deal 50% HP splash damage to non-targets. And the HP attack plus is permanent as soon as you unlock their EX plus 1 out of 3. So move over, Yuna. Now once you realize their EX weapon, they can imperil all their elements as they deal 5 different elemental types: fire, water, ice, thunder, and earth. So if an enemy is naturally weak to one of those, they will be hitting for their full damage even if any of their other damage types is resisted. Now, some cons is they deal 5 different elemental damage type, and their EX recast rate is slow. So if you can't imperil their elements because their EX ability is slow, and this can work against them if an enemy has no weaknesses and resists at least one of their elements, they're pretty much screwed. So at that point, I would recommend pairing them with another type of imperiler, kind of like Shantota, because Aunt Shantota with her realized EX weapon, she imperils every single element in the game, so that will be very beneficial for Lann and Reynn, so they could always be dishing out top damage. Now another con, and this is a big one, is they have no overflow for the skill 1, skill 2. It is 100% AoE damage, and so far they really don't give units that do 100% AoE HP damage overflow because of that reason. So you're going to want to focus on giving them max brave and pairing them with units that provide overflow to the party. Some examples are Bartz and Rosa. And in order to be doing this 100% AoE HP attacks, you have to have 2 of their unique buffs active, Mirage S and Mirage L. So if you're pretty bad at managing buffs, this may not be the unit for you. It's not difficult to get their buffs up. Alright, so now we're at that moment after looking at some pros and some cons about these characters. Are they worth your tickets and or gems? So unless these are your absolute favorite characters, I would recommend not to pull on this banner. For Lann and Reynn, even though they have 100% HP AoE damage, unless you really beef them up with max brave and units that really give them some good overflow, there's units with split damage that can hit their numbers if there's 2 enemies or 2 bosses, which we see very often. If there's 3 bosses, in my opinion, that's where Lann and Reynn really excel at. That's what they're at their best. So like, for example, Gao's the little dinosaurs, the 3 dinosaurs, or any like the 3 horsemen, and they will come in handy in the next Dimension's End, as the first wave should be having 3 bosses in the first wave. Edgar's kit is interesting, but he's missing out on that additional 30% damage since he himself can only inflict 3 debuffs. So if you want his full potential, you are forced to bring someone else who can also inflict debuffs, which can be a pro, which can be a con, depending on said unit that you do bring onto the team. And truthfully, there are other banners on the horizon that I would definitely say, hell yes, throw your gems at these banners. So for example, Beatrix, Vayne, Paladin Cecil banner, General Leo Galuf, Lightning Hope, and Shadow banner. And even though June is a few months away, there are so many good units that month, like Keese and Arciala, for example, that I would recommend you guys start saving your resources for, so you can try to get some of these broken units later down the line. So I just don't do 5 tickets. I don't know, do none if you can, and only use your gems, again, if they are your absolute favorites. That is it for this video, friends. Thank you guys for joining me in my Worth It series, where I go over said banners and hopefully help you guys reach a decision to see if said units are worth your gems and tickets. Be sure to let me know down below in the comments if you had their gear from before, or if you are actually pulling for these units because they are a personal favorite. Alright friends, so thoughts down below in the comments, and until next time friends, good luck and have a good one.